Hey everybody, how the hell are you? Welcome to my channel. And if you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button and it helps my channel grow. Today I am introducing my friend Lizzy Harris, and she's doing true crime, but the people are actually innocent, right?
Yes, they're innocent.
Okay. Hold on, let me turn up the volume a little bit. I think it's low. Okay. Uh So how did you get into trying to prove people innocent?
So I got sent a case, and this gentleman, Gerard Harris, is innocent. Like, he sent me his transcripts, he sent me all his evidence, really, to prove that he's innocent. And I read everything, I looked at everything, and I'm like, wow, like, this man is really innocent, sitting in prison right now, and he's actually innocent. And ever since then, I became like obsessed with true crime.
So when you got the whenever you first got all of his transcripts and stuff, were you like, yeah, he's not really innocent, he's just full of crap? And then you started digging deeper into it?
I was a little speculative at first. I was like, maybe, everybody says they're innocent. So I was like, well, maybe he's not innocent. Let me look into it. But I started reading and I saw all the different red flags, and one person said this, but then the state said that, and they spun the whole thing around, and they basically just try to blame everything on, three people, and they used the law acting in concert. So everybody there was guilty of the crime. So even though he didn't do the crime, he's actually an innocent man sitting in prison. He actually didn't do anything.
So how long has he been in prison for?
Altogether is 27 years. He did 2 years in the county prison, and he's done 25 in the state prison.
So you said you got the transcripts and you got like evidence, stuff like that. So what was the couple of things that was a bombshell that you sat there and said, holy crap, he's actually innocent?
Okay, so reading the transcript in like volume 12 or 13, the autopsy report is in there. And the man did not die of blunt force trauma to the head. The man died of an asthma attack. And the man was not the gentleman did not die the way they said that he died, and the way they presented it to the state, the way they presented it to the jury. The man didn't die that way. They didn't even let that even be known that there was other contributing factors to that. And even the medical examiner said that man did not die from that. He died of an asthma attack. Then the next thing was I got an affidavit from one of the witnesses there that night, and she said that she lied on the stand because the police told her to, or they were going to throw her in prison. So she lied to save herself, and she wrote an affidavit, got it notarized, signed it, and said, "I didn't do the crime. I lied." You know, and the last piece was a newspaper article that he sent me. And the sheriff that actually arrested him was arrested for corruption, witness tampering, altering the scenes of the crime, and basically just lying about everything. And he got convicted in the state for that.
Now, have you always been interested in true crime, or is this something new?
I have been interested in true crime, but I will say that this is.
I'm sorry. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. It's my husband. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I sent Andy to the store, and well, he had to call me. Um, okay, so you've always been fascinated by it, but okay, so you what state is he in?
He's in North Carolina.
Okay. And so when you got handed this and they said, "Hey, Lizzie, I want you to look at this, and because I think this guy is innocent, how long have you known about this case in particular?"
I've known about this case for about 9 months, and I've been on the fence about whether I want to bring it to light or do I not. Do I want to, do I want to try to help? Do I not? And then I decided that, I've made a lot of life changes in my life, and I've decided, you know what? I'm going to start up a podcast, and I'm going to not only help him to prove that he's innocent and to help get him out of prison and prove to the world that he's innocent. He didn't do the terrible things that the state said he did, and I'm going to also help other people get out of prison that are innocent. I really believe that, there needs to be some reforms in the justice system. I really do believe that there are a lot of innocent people that could be proven not only with DNA, but just, reading the facts of the case and looking for the red flags. And I believe that I found a lot of the red flags to prove that this man is innocent.
So the other people that were involved with this, you said there were two other people?
It was 6 total that night, but only 3 were charged.
Okay, so you said that he has served 27 years.
Yes.
So, how many years has the other people served so far?
Well, one of his co-defendants took a plea deal basically to lie and set him up along with the other co-defendant, and he got 10 years time served, no probation, no parole, and he is actually out and living his best life, while this gentleman that I'm doing this my first case on is serving time, and his other co-defendant, he has done 27 years as well.
Okay, so okay, you said about the autopsy that what he actually died from was different than what they said,
Mm-hmm.
and that the one of the witnesses said, "Okay, I lied on the stand." Um, was there anything else that like popped into your head that you went, "Oh my god!" Like I know that you and I have discussed this. You said there were several bombshells that went off because you were like, "Oh my god, he really didn't do this."
Yeah. So basically when you read the indictment that the state gave, when you read the beginning of the whole trial and everything, they keep talking about yard ornaments like, like garden gnomes, rocks, stuff that you would decorate your
Hmm.
yard with. They say that this that this group of people threw these items at him, threw it in his head like a watermelon. But the man had no bruising. The man had no injuries from a blunt force object being dropped on his head.
Oh, well,
Yes.
that's an inconsistency. Um,
And they also, his second charge that they are not running together, it would run separately, is an armed robbery charge. The victim had no money in his pocket. He had no money in his wallet. He came to the house broke. He told everybody there he didn't have any money. Um, but the state's trying to say that they took $1,700 out of the victim's wallet, and that's what made it armed robbery, because they said that change fell out of the pocket. Not that they took anything out, but nobody ever did a DNA test on this man's pocket, and they say that the the defendant had cuts on his hand from punching the victim, but there's no blood or anything on.
so he admits he punched the guy.
He admits he punched him, but it was also after he was pushing him to strike him, and all he did was punch him in the jaw. That's all he did. He didn't do anything the state said. He didn't. There was no hours long beating that went on. No, it lasted not even 5 minutes.
So there is a curious law in North Carolina
Mm-hmm.
between 1990.
1994 and 1998, which is called the structured sentencing. So basically, that was in 1994 is the same year that Michael Jordan's father was killed in North Carolina. So that's where they changed the law. So it's no longer fair sentencing, it is structured sentencing. So if you are sentenced to life in prison in these 4 years' time, you have to serve the whole life sentence. Where if you were sentenced before 1996, you do 20 years, you go to a program called the MAP program. That's basically like a prison halfway house. They get to go to work, they get to come back, and they do that for 3 years, and then they're released from custody. And if they can, maintain a job and they don't get in trouble after 3 years, then they are released and there's no more punishment. They're done. Now, if you're sentenced between 94 and 98, you're on the structure sentence, so you have to do the whole time. Now, after October of 1998, they went back to fair sentencing. So you do 20 years again, you go to the MAP program, you get out. So there is actually 200 people in the state of North Carolina that are under this 4-year law that are stuck in prison for the rest of their life, and they don't get a second chance. They don't get any kind of help, and they don't get any kind of fairness that the other people would get. And I believe that that's something that should be changed. I believe the lawmakers in North Carolina should do that, and I am going to advocate for that. But to say you're going to rehabilitate somebody, I believe that you should rehabilitate across the board, not take 4 years out.
Now, you said his name is
Gerard Harris.
Gerard Harris. Okay, so is has Mr. Harris been in a lot of trouble while he's been in prison?
No, no. Actually, when he first went to prison, like state prison in 1998, because that's whenever he was sentenced. Okay. He had little rights, but now mind you, he was 19 years old at the time. He was a kid. He was immature. He got write-ups for not listening, touching a handle, which constituted messing with the lock or something like that. He's only got 10 write-ups in 27 years. But I don't know about you, but you could get in trouble once every year, and he didn't even do that.
And did he has he done any programs in the prison?
Oh yes, he's got degrees in culinary arts. He got his GED in there. He has done numerous programs, schools. He's got a lot. He's got about like 10 to 15 different certificates and degrees mixed together. He's actually utilized his time, and he's kept a job the whole time. And every time a little program comes, he does do it just to better himself.
So when he gets out, he'll be able to go get a job and be a productive member of society.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, do you think that you're going to be able to no. What do you want to come out of this podcast that you're starting?
Um, well, I have two things. I want to help get these innocent people out of prison, but it is a very expensive thing. So just to get like either, a lawyer to help write up the different things to help get him out, and along with the other people that I can prove that, hey, we fill out the MAR and or we put in for clemency or we put in different motions to prove this, or you know, we have a lawyer help us or just the monetary to get a lawyer to help us advocate to get these people out of prison. Just to prove innocence, really. Get their cases out there, get it heard so people know that not everybody in prison is guilty of the crime that they're in prison for.
Oh no, we've heard cases of people being in prison for 20, 30 years and
Mhm.
then it comes up and goes, "Oh, but we made a mistake. You're not
Mhm.
guilty." And Oops, our bad. Sorry.
Yeah, and I definitely believe that once I do this podcast, I believe that I am going to put a lot of spotlight on Gerard Harris's case. I believe I'm going to put a lot of spotlight on the state of North Carolina. And right now in the state of North Carolina, prison reform is getting to be a very big thing. So I think that with this, I think that it's going to put a lot of clarity for people to see, like, okay, unfortunately, an incident happened, but you have an innocent man doing time for something he didn't do. And that's not fair. And our Constitution gives us the right to not do time for something that we didn't do, not to be accused of something we didn't do, and to serve all this time. It's unfair.
So are you so you're going to be doing this case first, and do you want to take on more cases in North Carolina of people that are not guilty? Um cuz you said that you have to prove to you first that they're not guilty, and
Yeah.
then you'll talk about their case.
Yeah, to send their evidence, just to send me something that I can look into to say, okay, you're not guilty of anything, and let's try to, let's do it. Let's get your case out there so people can see that, you're innocent. Because I want to help the people with innocent. I want to help people have a second chance at life.
And so you have anything else you want to talk about? Are you so you're going to do the show now. So once he gets out, are you going to have him on your show to talk about his experiences in prison and how happy he is to be out and everything else?
Yes, definitely. We're definitely going to try to, me and my team are definitely going to try to hook him up with his own podcast about, the different struggles that he's gone through being in prison and the different emotions. Because remember, he was 19 when he was convicted. The average male does not fully mature until 26 years old. And that's a psychological fact. And, he was really a baby when he got his life taken from him. So I do want to help him get it out there. And I think it might be therapeutic for him as well to tell his story and to enlighten people that not everybody has done what they say that they've done.
Yeah.
And on the podcast, I'm actually going to have a interview with him on the podcast. I believe it's on episode 2 or 3. I'm actually going to have a interview with him from the prison. It's going to be a phone interview because they won't let me bring recording stuff into the prison to record him. So we're going to do it over the phone.
Well, so I appreciate you being here today and taking the time to talk to me, and I hope everybody likes and shares this, and I did put your YouTube tag in the comments, and if anybody wants to get a hold of her and you missed uh her YouTube tag, you can email me and I will hook you up with her. Everybody knows my email, so it is Cheyenne8251 at gmail.com. And but Lizzie, I appreciate you being here, and I wish you well with your podcast. Is it just going to be on YouTube, or are you going to try to get it on Apple, Amazon?
I'm gonna try to get on Apple, Amazon. I'm also gonna take like little pieces and put it on the Instagram reels, the Facebook reels, just to get it out there. I want everybody to know about it. I want everybody to hear about it.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you being here, and good luck with your podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Like, subscribe, and hit that share button, y'all. I'll talk to you later.